Hello and welcome back. We got lots to cover today about the Lost Brothers of the Blood Angels. As always, you'll find the chapters below if you want to skip ahead. Settle in and let's ease into it. Treat them with honor, my brothers, not because they will bring us victory this day, but because their fate will one day be ours. This quote from our High Chaplain always captured what the Death Company is in essence quite well to me. Astorath is telling the Blood Angels to respect the lost ones, not for what they can do, but for what they are, a mirror. Today, they are the ones lost to the Black Rage. Tomorrow, it could be any angel who hears Sanguinius' last breath echo in their soul. The Blood Angels and all their successor chapters bear this profound spiritual affliction. Born of our Primarch's violent end at the hands of the arch-traitor, the Black Rage can seize any son of Sanguinius, from raw recruit to storied veteran. Those claimed by it are gathered into the ranks of the Death Company. On the eve of every battle, the Blood Angels turn to prayer and remembrance of Sanguinius' sacrifice. Chaplains pass among the ranks, blessing each warrior and quietly marking those whose gaze is unfocused or whose words run thick or forward. Most may master their inner turmoil. Years of training teach them to drive it down into the depths of their soul. For a few, however, the echo of Sanguinius is too powerful. The memory is too loud to silence. As the chaplains intone to Moripatris, the Mass of Doom, the chosen are collected by their priests and are taken away to be formed into the Death Company. Being a member of the Death Company is a deliberate last stand, better a decisive end in battle than a slow collapse into madness. These warriors seek a worthy fall in combat. Their armor is repainted black and marked with red saltires recalling Sanguinius' wound at the War Master's hands. Honor scrolls are bound to their gear, praising their deeds in life and affirming their value in death. Many Death Company brothers are too far gone to grasp reality. Some are convinced they are Sanguinius. Others relive the fires of Horus heresy, their senses dragged back to the siege of Terra, and the urge to tear and kill drowns all else. Such broken perceptions demand a guidance. Chaplains normally lead them, their fervor cutting through the madness and steering the black armor toward the foe. Strong-willed heroes of the Blood Angels, and even the Golden Sanguinary Guard, have also proven able to direct these fallen brothers into the fray. It is the charge of such leaders to make their comrades' tragic end count for everything it can. Every Blood Angel who succumbs is a champion of humanity, and deserves a meaningful death. Though this curse robs the chapter and its successors of warriors each year, the Death Company, used well, can become a fearsome weapon that can turn the tide of every war. The Black Rage, as such, is a soul sickness from which no son of Sanguinius is truly safe. As their line troopers fall to it, as do the tank crews, champions of the chapter, and even those entombed within their dreadnoughts. At its worst, it unleashes storms of destruction, yet however potent it makes its host, the spiritual cost is unbearable. Despite every effort to resist the curse, its grip has only seemed to tighten over the centuries. Before any battle, it is common for several brothers to be lost to the rage. Dark rumors, however, tell of the darkest days when entire strike forces succumbed as one. Such disasters are rare, but they have happened. On each, the Reclusium's chaplains seemed to sense the coming storm, doing all they could to bend that wild fury to the chapter's advantage. Chronicles record calamities such as Signax, the Sedan Octavian, and the War of the Broken Wings, moments of terrible shame upon the Blood Angels. As mentioned previously, Astorath the Grim stands as the Blood Angels' High Chaplain, the Redeemer of the Lost. No rank in this chapter is more exalted, nor more quietly dreaded. Exalted because he carries a burden no one else can bear, and performs a duty no one else dares. Dreaded because that duty is soaked with the blood of his own brothers. His calling is to hunt down the sons of Sanguinius, who have fallen to the Black Rage so completely that even a warrior's death no longer claims them. When he finds such a soul, Astorath grants the release with a single, crushing stroke to the neck, severing the head to deny the Black Rage its cruel endurance. It is mercy, unquestionably. Yet no Space Marine is ever easy around Astorath. For any one of them may one day feel the bite of his solemn axe as the last sensation of life. Though sworn to the Blood Angels, his path ranges far among their successor chapters. Long ago, it was decided that this terrible office should rest on one set of shoulders. And so far, one warrior has proven equal to it. Thus does the Astorath cross the void, seeking those who must receive his benediction of oblivion. The Astorath hears the Black Rage before it is seen. He feels its first unraveling in mournful chords that toll within his mind, each note swelling as more brothers are claimed. No distance dulls that sorrowful music. Yet in the shadow of Astorath's mercy walks a lone paradox, Lemartes, whose iron will holds the Black Rage at bay long enough to turn despair into a weapon of hope. Chaplain Lemartes succumbed to the Black Rage while the Blood Angels readied the liberation of 𝕮𝖍𝖕𝖕𝖙𝖎𝖙. Unlike the other Death Company brethren who led the planet strike, he survived the first brutal landings, and seemingly inexorable, hacked a gore-slick path through the Orc lines. Only once victory was secured did he finally collapse from his wounds, carried to the field apothecarion within the newly seized fortress. He awaited Astorath, the Redeemer of the Lost, to receive his final mercy. When the High Chaplain arrived to grant that last release, Lemartes begged for life, so long as breath remained to crush the Emperor's foes. Such defiance was without precedent. Though his eyes burned red and his body thrumbled with barely checked fury, his speech was steady and precise. Members of the Death Company often raved so wildly that Astorath had to subdue them before the end. Never had one addressed them with such a lucid challenge. Silencing all objections, Astorath ordered Lemartes sealed in stasis and returned to Baal, there to be examined by the chapter's librarians and sanguinary priests. The inquiry stretched over months, during which Lemartes lay mostly in the cold pause of the stasis for the safety of all. The findings bolstered Astorath's cautious hope. Physically, Lemartes bore every mark of the Black Rage, yet his mind, though besieged, was not shattered. Through staggering force of will, he seemed able to leash the madness. Several sanguinary priests warned this control would prove fleeting, and that once freed from his status, he would plunge into utter lunacy. The High Chaplain was unconvinced. Refusing the calls for execution once more, he woke Lemartes from enforced sleep and offered them a path to continue serving. Thus, Lemartes became the guardian of the lost, the warden of the Death Company. He has repaid Astorath's trust 1,000-fold. Under his hand, the Death Company have never struck with such terrible effect. Their recent triumphs eclipse tales of old. He drives his charges to ever greater renown, ensuring the Blood Angels' dread sacrifices is never squandered. For all the hope, Lemartes surely lives on borrowed time. For even his iron will cannot forever bar the Black Rage. Yet for now, his resolve holds. He stands as a beacon to the chapter. If Lemartes can think and serve within the storm of the rage, perhaps others might also endure. The Death Company are the Blood Angels' tragic fate, warriors swallowed by the Black Rage who still stand between mankind and the darkness. Remember them not as monsters, but as the ones who are devoted so fiercely that even madness couldn't turn them from their duty. As mentioned previously, the armor of the Death Company members is painted black and adorned with the heraldry of the lost. It is decorated with the red saltires that signify the wounds of Sanguinius. The helmet color is solid black, but I choose to paint the inner portions white, inspired by this artwork I saw a long time ago by Thomas from Avalanche Studios. I used Abaddon black for the main color and white scarf for the white areas. I used this helmet pattern for the two-tone helmet. I choose 𝕬𝖵𝖴𝖴 red for the lenses and red details, and Sycorax bronze for the gold trims. The 𝕮𝖆𝖕𝖙 saltire is placed on the right shoulder pad, and the decorative red stripe on the left knee pad. I also used the Lemnos campaign badge as a custom 𝕮𝖆𝖕𝖙 symbol on the right knee pad. Every successor chapter of the Blood Angels has a 𝕮𝖆𝖕𝖙 among its ranks, and they almost universally use black for their armor. The only exception is Angels and Carmine, who use white armor for their 𝕮𝖆𝖕𝖙 Marines. Again, I took a bit of creative freedom and added a black stripe along the helmet to give it more character. This isn't standard. The main color I used is white scar with Abaddon black and Corvus black. This is the stripe pattern I used. The backpack is completely black, and the 𝕮𝖆𝖕𝖙 heraldry is placed appropriately. Since the Angels and Carmine chapter symbol isn't in the game, I used the original Blood Angels chapter symbol. Honestly, they're almost identical. The only difference is Angels and Carmine emblem simply replaces the angel wing with a bat wing beside the blood drop. My sincerest thanks to the artists and composers who allowed their works to be featured in here. Your music and art set the tone and help us experience these stories. I have credited everyone in the description if you want to support what you have seen and heard. And with that, see you on the next one.